everybody. I'm doing an Elvis part 1 and part 2. I just did a journey to Elvis where I am connected with a part of his soul that was still lingering around the earth plane, still processing some of the heavy burdens that he experienced as himself, as Elvis, helping to heal that and bring his soul consciousness, that aspect of his soul consciousness, into heaven. So I'm going to relax and actually channel his higher self. Elvis is a pretty dynamic energy, all energy. Every soul is a dynamic soul. Was something that really sparkles about him. He has this gentle, collected nature that loves so profoundly with such a big heart. Loves music and the impact that music has on the soul and the heart of the human race. I experienced him as a dragon, and I did not expect to see that side of Elvis, but it was really cool. So I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in checking out the healing for his spirit. But this is going to actually be channeling Elvis, his higher self, okay? He has like this words of wisdom type of energy to him. Like he really wants to transform people through inspirational messages, okay? So I'm gonna relax now. I want to get to know more of the spirit of Elvis and his personality, wisdom he'd like to share with all of us. Right now I'm just patiently waiting for, there's a lot of different images coming, but vibrationally it's not, there's something that is inside myself that says wait. I'm going to wait. Okay, I'm being shown a house, and it is a home, and it's made completely out of wood, even has wooden shingles. And it's a really intense, like, brown color. It's not a light brown, it's not dark brown, but it's a really rich brown color. It's almost, it's not painted, it's just something about the color of the wood that's really a rich brown. And it's definitely a 2-story house, and I can see just beautiful land. It's kind of like, it's mowed grass. It's a big property. There's large trees throughout, and there's woods on one side, and there's a beautiful bright sun. Now I'm being shown a train. And it's interesting because the train is on a track. This train, though, it doesn't know which way to go. So it's not able to move forward. It's just sort of on the track, not sure which way to go. It's very peculiar. But I see the train has eyes and a personality, like it has a face. It's like the little engine that could, but it's more than that. It's like an adult that needs a direction. The direction seems obvious, but it can't take that route anymore. So it's waiting for new tracks to shift gears, to go in a new direction. The new direction never appears, so then it's at a standstill. And within the heart of this train, it knows that it cannot continue to move forward. So it doesn't know which way to go, because forward is not the right way anymore for this train. It has to go in a new direction, but a new direction is not appearing. And I say sometimes then you just simply need to just stay right where you are, to stop what you're doing, to just come down. Take a vacation from life if you can, as much as you can. Slow down. I see the train's eyes is looking to this house in the distance, and the train is really longing to come home, and it can't leave this track. It can't even, the spirit of itself can't even leave the train. It can't get to this house. It can't get to this home. The home, though, watches it. The home sees the train. And the home is calling the train. The home is calling the spirit of this train. And so it's a terrible conflict that the train feels within its own heart. Its heart is suffering a great deal, and I see the eyes have tears. And there's great ideas to create change, and change just, it's almost like the weight is too great. I feel a very, very long time. Winter is coming. Winter is now here. And everything is still. And in a way, it is asleep, but it's like it's dead. And it doesn't feel like there's any life, and there are any people around. And the train feels cold and alone. There's still no new direction, only moving forward. But it knows that it can't keep moving forward. It has to stop. And it needs a new direction. And until a new direction appears, then it must simply stop and then wait. What's interesting is the change is not happening out there. It's happening inside. And the message that he's sharing with all of us is that if you feel in your life that you are looking for change, a new train track, something new in life, but nothing new is appearing for you, and it's obvious that there's just, you can't find another option, then you need to simply stop and let the change take place inside yourself over time. Because as the change takes place inside of you, you will find the opportunity does come in time. And he shows me the longing to be home, the longing to, this home is representing something warm, something connected, something that feels like it's a welcoming place where you can laugh and share, and there's no judgment. There's even that crackling fire and like family and friends type energy. And it's like our hearts want to feel this home, but there's some kind of separation between our path and our ability to access the feeling of home. And sometimes it's hard to know, where is the direction that leads me to this experience, the experience that feels this enriching. I feel left in the cold winter of the world, without any new direction, and now I'm just sitting still here feeling this inside myself. And he says even winter comes to spring, so everything is changing, even if it takes months. And he reminds me of, people get seasonal depression, okay? So but winter does change to spring. Spring does change to summer. So there is an element of patience that we all have to learn how to work with. We have to learn how to work with patience. We also have to learn how to work with a knowing. and knowing that by being still, by just continuing to do the same thing, so to speak, or just slowing down in the same reality, we are working on our inner self. And as we work on our inner self, as we're guided to work on our inner selves right now, is what he's saying, you will find that in time there are new train tracks, new directions that will appear for you. He is just so absolutely loving. He shows me a child and Frosty the Snowman, and there's nothing creepy here, okay? But Frosty the Snowman is really alive and looks like a real snowman and has the warmest heart you could ever imagine, but never melts. Because he has to be Frosty the Snowman to really reach this child. Even with a bright, warm heart, he will do whatever it takes, even to overcome his own circumstances, in order to reach the joy in the heart of this child. He shows me himself and love itself too, but he shows me himself as Frosty the Snowman with a big smile and arms outstretched, welcoming the child to come and receive a hug. And the warm heart of Frosty the Snowman is going to melt him. It's going to melt himself. But he says no. My love will maintain this persona to reach this child. I will find a way to. It's so surreal. It's like the most surreal thing. But he chooses to continue to be Frosty the Snowman for this child, even with his big warm heart that can melt and transform himself to snow or water or ice. He will find a way to overcome everything in order to bring light and warmth to a child's heart. When you see Frosty the Snowman in real life, like I'm looking at him in real life, I probably would have run screaming. But it's so wonderful though, the feeling of it. It's like the real, the old cartoon. It's really like that in real life. How wonderful Frosty the Snowman is for kids. This is a real experience and it's wonderful. He's showing me this. The spirit of love is so powerful, it can overcome everything. And the importance of the love reaching the hearts of children. I mean, I can feel all the love that he has to share. There's so much love that he has to share. It's almost like he can't live without sharing so much love. That's why he needed to be Elvis, because he had to get this out of his system. He had to share all of this love. But in healing his soul, that was also hard, because being a human, wanting to help the world, to share this music with the world, to reach people, there's a challenge with balance. There's a challenge with identity. There's challenges like this on the human side. But his higher self, his beautiful spirit energy, it's so abundant. It never is challenged to share love. So him being Elvis was his need to just share all that love with all of us. He shows me you and me, all of us here. And he says he has to become something new. He can't stay as Frosty the Snowman for us. And that when spring comes, he will have to go. But that his love will forever remain in our hearts and memories. And he shows me spring coming and all the snow melting and himself melting. But I feel the spirit of himself in our hearts, filling us with love and abundance. He shows me too that sometimes we can deceive ourselves, where we think that there's only this one track, that we are the train and this is the only direction, even if it doesn't feel like the right direction anymore, and now we're at a standstill. He shows me people, children particularly. I see children around this train, and somehow the children are what's guiding this train home. It's the children that are guiding this train home. It's almost like in life, if you're going through an experience right now in your real world life where you feel kind of at a standstill, there may be unsuspecting directions for you, and to feel open to people. He shows me these children can even be the inner childs of your best friends and family members, or people, coworkers, or people you just randomly meet on the street. And he's encouraging every single one of us to see our fellow man as the inner child. So within every person is a beautiful inner child spirit that loves Frosty the Snowman, that loves stories, that is imaginative, a dreamer, that wants to be hugged, that likes warm socks and a warm fire, and stories from grandma and grandpa, and fresh baked cookies. We are all the same. We are all these inner child energies that want to feel that tenderness of love, and that is what guides us home. That is the energy of home to us. He wants to melt our hearts, because he's now saying that it doesn't make sense. Frosty the Snowman and this warm heart, he's almost showing us that in a way we are all Frosty the Snowman with warm hearts, but it's like there's something about, we have to melt the Frosty the Snowman of our own identities, and we have to just let our warm hearts shine. And he's like opening the oven for the fresh baked cookies. We had to share the true joy of this world and of what it is to be human. We had to share the gifts that we create, that are our own gifts. He really likes to amplify the sound of warmth and love and nurture in our hearts, but he has this like really wanting to emphasize the value of everybody and working together as one big team, and that nobody has to be alone on a track. This is all he has to share with us. I hope you guys enjoyed this message. I really like connecting with him, and I'm still a little bit delirious from all this, so I'm just coming back into myself here. All right. Thank you all so much. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. If any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I have 2 other YouTube channels, so you can check me out at Abbey Psychic Services and Zodiac Energy Readings. I'm also on Patreon at patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. All right, that's everything. Thank you for watching, and have a very amazing rest of your day.